Hello guys! So today is a very sunny and crisp, lovely frosty day today in Sheffield, and I'm thinking I might go for a walk later, but first I've got a job. If you're one of my patrons, you'll know that I've already started illustrating my next children's book. I'm dead excited because I'm doing it in a different way to the way that I did my last one. So my last children's book was called Our Dave, and when I did the artwork for that, I did it all old school. So I got paper out and I got paints and pens and pencils and went to town. And while I loved doing that, it was just so difficult when it came to editing. I mean, I'm not a Photoshop wizard, but so I'm sure some people would be able to do what I wanted to do in Photoshop. So just say, for example, I did, let me get a piece of paper. I've got my old sheet here. There we go. So this was my template that I made for my pages. So when you're doing a book, you need to make sure, so there we go. So the outside dotted line is where they would trim it, and then the inside line here is your safety margin. So just in case the books wibble a little bit, you put all your important information in there, and then they don't get, it doesn't get chopped off, doesn't get risked basically. I didn't take that into account when I was doing my illustrations the first time, because I illustrated it and then looked into all of the information about what you need to do. It was the wrong way around basically, but that's all part of the learning curve. So when it came to actually getting my artwork off the paper, scanning it in and making sure that I'd had the right amount of safety margins, some of my characters were right up close to the edge, some places the space that I left for text wasn't big enough, so ideally I needed to cut those pieces out and make them smaller, move them around a bit, and it's hard when it's all physical stuff. But I mean, it was fun doing it that way, but this time I'm doing it digitally with my new iPad. So yeah, I'm doing it digitally, and that will give me more flexibility to move my characters around if I need to. You know, if I find that I've accidentally done something too close to the edge or it's not in the safety margins, I will be able to take that layer, shrink it, play around with it a little bit. That's my hope anyway. So I've done my first page already. So the first page in the book is going to be a double page spread, and they're always nerve-wracking because you've got to take into account where it's going to be glued. Is it going to line up? So I've done my first half of that first double page spread, and I'm going to be working on the second half of it today. I'm going to try and get my head around where the overlaps need to be. But yeah, so that's my job for today. If you can see dust flying around, it's because there's a shaft of sunlight coming between us, between you and me. You see, woohoo! And in a minute it's going to be right in my eyes because it's coming right over the houses that are over there. So I'm trying to get this intro bit done before the sun blinds the heck out of me. So what else has happened? Oh, by the way, if you're interested in following my journey, I'm going to release information about my book to my patrons. So on my Patreon, which is patreon.com/Emma Woodthorpe. On my Patreon, I've got different tiers. One of my tiers is a sketchbook tour. So with that tier, every month I would show all the pages of my sketchbook, the good, the bad and the ugly. But because when I'm doing a book, I don't have extra time to do a lot of sketchbooking, so I tend not to do sketchbooking. So to make it up to my sketchbook tour members, I am going to show them exclusive pages from the book, behind the scenes from the book, and give them a bit more content, because while I'm doing this book, I'm not going to be able to sketchbook, so they'll be getting less than they paid for if I didn't do this. So yeah, if you're interested in following my book progress and seeing pages from the book, sorry, I slurred that, seeing pages from the book before anyone else, come and join my Patreon at patreon.com/Emma Woodthorpe and join my sketchbook tour tier. And yeah, you'll get to see what's going on. I've got my mint tea here. This isn't a massive nappy pin. It's a tea bag, like a plastic-free tea bag thing, and I've put mint tea in there. Nice. Yeah, so what else have I got on today? Oh, I really should be making my Skillshare class, my next Skillshare class. They've been lovely and waited for me. And I've been in contact with them and they've been really helpful. They've been really helpful trying to, help me through the process. I don't know if I've got the energy in me. I've been writing the script. Before Christmas I wrote the script, which is going to be how to create your own self-published children's book. I got a little bit lost in it because there's so much information. Trying to kind of put it into certain categories is difficult because the categories overlap, and it's just a lot. So it started to feel a little bit like a quagmire, and I'd read through it again and I'd realise I hadn't mentioned anything about this in that section, and then I'd have to go back. It's a lot of work. And then I've got the fuss about getting all of my studio lights out, because I bought some studio lights back when I very first started my YouTube channel. I don't use them for YouTube anymore, but I use them when I'm filming for my Skillshare. If you don't know, Skillshare is a place where you can learn new skills, and people like me make classes based on our zone of genius. That's an official phrase. I don't call that myself. Yeah, we make classes and you watch them. Everyone's a winner. So yeah, my next class was going to be that. But lockdown's kind of sucked the energy from me for doing things like that. I'd need to move to be able to get the shots that I needed, the shots that they wanted from me. I'd have to move my desk, and I don't know if mentally I'm prepared for all that entails. So I'm taking a step back from that for now. It's still there. I'm still going to do it, but I'm illustrating this children's book that I've written, and my new children's book, and yeah, it actually might be a good way round, because like I say, there's loads of information. Hello, Dave. Dave's just come in. There's loads of information to remember. So maybe actually doing another children's book would be a good way for me to get it all in order. Like, what do you need to do? Yes, that's what I think. Last night, me and Andy got out one of the old games consoles. So we got out my old N64, whoop, whoop, and I started playing Zelda again. Zelda, the Ocarina of Time. Oh. I mean, the graphics, it's a lovely game. Really intricate story. But man, those graphics, how did we even... It's all so pixelated. But yeah, what a good game. Loads of good memories. So I'm going to get on with trying to get a bulk of that second half of the first children's book double spread. Are you okay? Did you hear that? That was Dave sneezing. He's sticking his head down the back of the sofa. Hello. Sorry, looking at my cat. He's sticking his head down the back of the sofa and sneezing. Yeah, so I'm going to get on with finishing that double page spread. Not finishing. I won't be able to finish it today, but I'll get on with the bulk of it. And then I'm going to play Ocarina of Time. I'm going to pretend I'm 15 again. It's going to be amazing. And yeah, I should probably stop talking to the camera and procrastinating. I'm gonna go and get my iPad, sitting here with Dave and do some of my book. I'm really enjoying it though. Honestly, drawing on the iPad is so much more liberating because you can change your ideas and it doesn't mean you've got to start the whole page again. Oh, so lovely. Right, I'm gonna get on with that, so I will see you later. Hey, in case anyone's wondering about Dave's recovery from his surgery, so those of you who don't know, Dave's my cat, and he had some suspicious marks on his nose and his ear, and the vet said they're probably precancerous, and when they took a section of his ear off and they took a gouge out of his nose and said, yes, it's cancer. But they think they might have got it all. But just in case you're wondering how he's doing. Hi. He's doing all right. Although we suspect he's probably going to have some more teeth out because his gums are bleeding around the top. Hey, what do you think? What do you think about that? You're not too happy about it, are you, darling? No. So I've done a couple of hours at my sketch. I've got the main kind of features in. The time-consuming bit now is going to be colouring it in and making it match the other page, which is the double of. But it's lunchtime, and instead of just watching random telly, I'm going to put on my N64. That took way too long, way too much of my time. I'm blaming the fact that Dave came to sit on my lap and, you know, especially because he's been poorly, I don't want to deny him a nice warm lap. So I did play for probably a little bit more hours than I intended to. But what I'm going to do now is my favourite thing. Now I've got my iPad. I'm not tied to a desk. So I've got my iPad. That's his little blanket that he lays on. And Dave, that is, not Andy. And I'm going to put TV on and draw on the sofa. And then if Dave wants to join me and sit on my lap, he can. And the thing I will be watching are Buffy the Vampire Slayer reruns. This is a programme that I watched when I was a teenager, 15, 16, 17, 18. I don't know when it was on TV, around those times, 15 to 18. And I'm having fun. I'm having fun watching it in the background. So I don't really watch it, I more listen to it, and then every now and then I pop my head up. But yeah, I'm getting through quite a few. I'm on season 5 at the moment. I don't know how many seasons there are. There can't be too many more. I mean, well, there might be. I don't know. We'll find out. It's a magical mystery tour. But I've got my coffee and I'm going to put the telly on now and enjoy just drawing with my old teenage programmes on. It's how I roll these days.
Jane, come quickly, slowly.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Tell me what kind of demon I'm fighting.
Gloria isn't a demon, she's a god.
I'm Margaret.